Big Blue Nation, what's going on? It's your boy Big Blue Steph back at you with another video. This one, I'm gonna give a little credit to my man Runt, really for the idea. He was talking, he a Cowboy fan, and when he just approached me, it's like, man, how did y'all get like this? And I tried to break it down, and the more I broke it down, the more stuff that started coming to me. I'm just like, damn, how did it really get this bad? But before we get into this full video, man, do me a favor, go ahead and like, subscribe. If you got anything to add after you see this video or during the video, go ahead, add a little comment or two or whatever. Let me know what y'all think. But getting back to the topic at hand, I mean, literally, we are 2 games into the season. I waited to see what happened after this Washington game in Washington. The Daniel Jones story is what it is. The Giants, they're a train wreck, man. But how did we get here? Long story short, this is my own personal opinion, and from what I've seen over the years, things I've heard on and off from different content creators, from the media, especially the Giants media, the insiders, and Hard Knocks. This is all I put together. But to me, long story short, it starts with John Mayer. I know that story's been said and said and said, but when you really think about it, it starts with him. I ain't putting this game on John Mayer. That has nothing to do with this specific game. We lose in 21-18 because we ain't had no field goal kicker. We couldn't convert no 2-point conversions. We couldn't stop the run. We really, to be honest, we couldn't stop the pass. We have a decade-plus long history of not being able to stop tight ends. It's crazy. So to me, it starts with him, long story short. But breaking it down, you can go back to, you start with Shane, you go back to Gettleman, you go back to Reese. I'm gonna start with Reese really, but during that era, it was good. Things was good. Reese came in, behind the Corsi, and you got that second Super Bowl with Eli, and things looked good. And we just kind of coasted after a while, like, we're going to be good. Little did we know we'd have, Plax, Cheddar Bobbin himself. So that cut short one of the dynasties we really could have had. And then the second Super Bowl, I mean, we weren't expected to do much, and we came in, and against all odds, we got that one. And we just coasted off that Giants aura. Eli was Eli. He's all-time great. Should be a first ballot Hall of Famer no matter what y'all say. This dude put up numbers. This dude was clutch in clutch moments, and he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, period. Come on now. Hey, so beyond that, what do we do to help Eli out? Like, towards the end of his career, you gave him a new offensive coordinator who's a little bit more trendy. You gave him Ben McAdoo, trying to help him out, change his footwork. Eli had some good, statistical years, throwing for 4,000 yards, getting the ball out quickly. But why was he having to throw the ball out quickly? Because we never developed that offensive line. Never did. Something that we're still trying to do till this day. 3 GMs, I don't know, 5 head coaches later, maybe 6. I don't know what it is. And, we did the quick Band-Aid fix for this year, so far it looks so good. Devin Singletary almost had 100 yards this game. It is what it is, even with that fumble. I think if he didn't fumble, we were going to score that, possession, and I think we would have been good this game. But again, that's beyond the fact. That's a short-term look over this greater outlook of this game, of this team. And to be honest, not dealing with the O-line with Eli really messed things up. On top of that, you had Ben McAdoo, who was more of a forward thinker, and he was like, yeah, we got Eli, but what's next? Eli is on the back nine of his career. All right? Rumor has it that Ben McAdoo wanted Patrick Mahomes. That got jinxed. Okay, nixed, jinxed, whatever they want to call it. So what do? We continue with Eli. We keep trying to build around Eli. Ben McAdoo loses the locker room. Starts Geno Smith to break Eli's streak. It just sucks, right? So you continue on, but then again, what's the common factor? You got John Mara from those first two. You keep on going. Eli's just about done. You've brought in now freaking Dave Gettleman to pretty much right the ship. Only thing with writing the ship was Dave Gettleman is a John Mara guy. What does John Mara say? Hey, come on, y'all. Let's keep winning with Eli. I think we can get a little bit more out of Eli. It's be great for the franchise, blah, blah, blah. Can you do this with Eli? None of the other GMs that interviewed probably wanted to keep Eli going forward. Louis Riddick pretty much hinted at that. I'm not quoting him, but, or, really saying it, but it just seemed like maybe he had a little forward thinking. Not that his thinking was right, because if he did get the job as a GM, it looked like we would have had Dwayne Haskins as their QB, God rest his soul, but it didn't look like his point of view was going to be right anyway. So what do Gettleman do? Gettleman, touched by the hand of God, Saquon Barkley, try to extend Eli, give him a running game, even though you ain't give Eli a freaking O-line. How much of this goes back to the O-line? A whole lot. So here we are again with another GM, another coach. We got Joe Judge. Before even that, you freaking got Shermer, Pat Shermer, the Sherm. Shermer handpicks Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones out of Duke. An Eli mold quarterback, connected, and what do? All right, let's put all our eggs in the basket with freaking Daniel Jones. You do that, and you freaking have Pat Shermer as the QB coach / coordinator / head coach. Like, yo, these two are paired, but what do you do after 1 year? You get rid of Shermer. Daniel Jones shows you a lot in his first year. He's explosive, he's exciting, but you see the limitations and you're hoping. So Shermer's gone, you got Joe Judge. Joe Judge's like, we ain't doing this turnover stuff. We're gonna run it back with Daniel Jones, but I'm gonna have Jason Garrett and whoever that whole year, Jason Garrett, the dude that we ended up getting from Cleveland as offensive coordinator, all that was all messed up. But what do? Continue to run with Daniel Jones for the next 2 to 3 years. He cuts down on the turnovers. He's not turnover dimes anymore. He's just basic dimes, I guess. I don't know. Whatever it was, nothing happened, but we still in that mindset, did not get an O-line. Again, you're dealing with trying to make something out of nothing, and you really haven't established what you're trying to do as a franchise, even though everyone keeps saying we're going to fix the O-line. In the midst of that, you had Saquon Barkley, as I mentioned with the Gettleman era. Barkley was cool, especially first year. He did his thing, rookie of the year. We're like, oh wow, okay, well they got something going. Little do we know, this dude's gonna be injury and snake bit for the next 4 years, basically, of his career after his rookie year. Daniel Jones can't play without him, apparently. I don't know. It's just weird that the whole time we're trying to get through building a roster, and you have this great running back, but you don't build him an O-line, a run blocking O-line, and you don't build an O-line for your quarterback as a pass blocking O-line. So it's like, what are you doing? Fast forward, you get freaking Shane. Shane's here, has the perfect situation. Look, 5th year option. We're not picking up Daniel Jones' 5th year option. He needs to prove it. I think he came in that mindset that maybe he needs to prove it, possibly because of John Mara. Again, I'm not trying to crap on John Mara, but you could tell there's definitely influence there. There's definitely an influence with John Mara and these GMs and coaches, and what can you do with what we already have, which is cool. You don't want to give up too early, but at that point, you're 4 years into the Daniel Jones era. 5th year, he has to prove it for you to give him a contract. How many of these quarterbacks? Look at freaking Josh Rosen. After 1 year, Arizona was like, nah, Kyler Murray, cool, you're up. Josh Rosen's out 5 teams later. He's applying to business school now, I think I just read. Come on now, they cut the cord quick with that dude. We could have did the same, all right? But no, we're trying to run it back with Daniel Jones. So what's the worst thing that could happen for us? He has an awesome 2020-22 season, takes us to the playoffs. Dayball's in there his first year. Taylor makes the offense, more for Saquon early on, and as Saquon wore down that season, it transitioned into more of Daniel Jones' legs, and they made do with what we got going on, what we had going on back then. No number one receiver. If you want to call Darius Slayton your number one, it is what it is. But come on now, Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, that wasn't going to carry too far for too long. You know what I mean? So what do we do now? Hey, we got running back. So what we do, we double down. All right, no 5th-year option. We're gonna give him a 4-year, $160 million contract, 2 years guaranteed, $88 million guaranteed. After that, we can get out with an injury settlement. We're here now, and we're still trying to decide. Like, why are we trying to decide what Daniel Jones is? Seems like a good guy, hard worker, wants to put his all in. Limited. He tries. You can't say he was a jerk at any point in the junction in this career of being a Giant, but he is what he is. And we're just trying to really just move forward, but we're still having to talk about Daniel Jones. And this leads me to the mirror link to what's going on with Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. They're trying to build a roster, but they got freaking hooked into having to pay Daniel Jones. Oh, we didn't give him a fair shake. Remember when Mara said that? We've done everything to mess that kid up. Yeah, okay, yes we are, but guess what? He's messed up. He's broken. He may never be what he showed in his rookie season again. He can't even throw it deep anymore. I mean, he had 3 opportunities today with Malik Neighbors, and it just did not go down. It looked ugly. You weren't even close. The fact that Neighbors had 10 catches today, should have had 11th. Hey, man, we appreciate your efforts, man. It's cool. I ain't putting anything on Daniel Jones on that, but I know he was on the run, but Neighbors did have to move. But that's beside the point. Neighbors still should have locked that thing in. Regardless, going back to the point. Now, Daniel Jones is locked in. We got him on $40 million or so with the cap each of the last 2 years. You don't think that's been the opportunity for the Giants to really build out the roster a different way? I mean, if you're thinking about it, ever since Eli was on his way out, we've been trying to win while rebuilding. If you're coming in and you're trying to establish what you are, you're not going to keep bringing the rest of the trash with you, okay? You just can't do it. Doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. I'm still thinking this is Mara's influence. Dude, if you're going to let these dudes, whoever it is, your GM and coach, put them as a pair, because that Joe Judge, Gettleman stuff did not work. But if you're going to let this team, and you're saying you want them to do what they can do, we don't need your influence. We don't need your words. We don't need you saying, oh, well, Saquon by far is the most popular Giant we've ever had. What the fuck does that have to do with winning on the field? Yes, he's the most popular player, but you guys made 1 playoff appearance with this dude. Love everything he did for us. And he was a stand-up dude for the Giants. But we weren't winning with him. Who cares about popularity? This is not a business. It is a business. But if you're in the business of winning so that your business can be even better, fuck popularity, all right? I'm sorry I had to take it to that level, but it just irritates me. When I saw that comment, I was like, what are you thinking? Which is why I'm thinking Shane and Dayball have been kind of messed up, not fully being able to build, because they got to worry about that dude in their back ear talking about, he's popular, man. I won't be able to sleep. Okay, you ain't going to be able to sleep. So what, man? Are you trying to win or are you trying to sleep? So on top of that, it just makes no sense to me why he can't just sit back, let them do what they do, and keep it moving. So then you go with this Daniel Jones crap and all this stuff, and oh man, I won't be able to sleep. I'll have palpitations. Giving up. When Eli did it, it gave me palpitations about giving up that much draft stock. If you want these dudes to freaking have a good career, if you want Dayball and Shane to have success, let them build the team the way they need to. You saw what they did in Buffalo, all right? Why not? Why are you trying to take a retread with DJ and trying to fit into what they're trying to do? Dayball has tried to kill DJ on multiple times. He's indestructible, all right? He's indestructible. He's just working what he's got. You saw it in his first year, head coach of the year. Whatever ingredients Shane gives me, I'm gonna cook. But I can only do but so much. Dayball's taking a lot of heat for what bull Shane has put on the field. A lot of his drafts, I mean, who would have thought Evan Neal wouldn't have panned out? Hey, Kayvon Thibodeau, up and down. Hey, I mean, Cordell Flott. All of our third round draft picks for the last like 7, 8, almost 10 years have been like non-existent. We got freaking Jarrell Jernigan back in the day, like people like that. You know, second round pick, Clint Sinton, like stuff like that happens. We just haven't been able to draft right second and third round overall. Even though Drew Phillips looks like a beast, and I hope he could be our Witherspoon, Seattle's Witherspoon for this year. I mean, it'd be great. But regardless, going back to the fact, you haven't let Shane and Dayball truly build what they want. Now it's gotten to the point you were dealing with DJ, his injury, next status, ACL, and how much of a grace do you give Shane and Dayball at this point? The fans are getting freaking pissed off. They want heads turning. You got Pat Leonard asking if Dayball's worried about his job security. Dayball's already pissed off because he just lost the game to a team he shouldn't have lost to because he ain't have no damn kicker, because Shane probably didn't adjust the books right to figure out, oh damn, we do need to have somebody in the backfield. I mean, Dayball's taking a lot of heat for stuff that really ain't his fault. But he's, like he's described, he's just gritty. He's gonna make do what he has. You know, he ain't come from much. That's what he always says. And you just make the best of what you do. I feel bad for Dayball in that respect. But hey, you guys are a package deal. You're taking the heat for a lot of what Shane's doing, and then to a bigger extent what John Mara has done. It's bad. It really is bad. So coming full circle, I'm not just saying specifically one game was John Mara's fault, but this whole totality. If you interfere, if you're influencing your GM and coach and what they can and can't do or shouldn't do, or it's going to make you feel bad or not be able to sleep or have palpitations, it's an issue, and you're not letting your team succeed. So at the end of the day, Giants, this Full Metal Jacket quote from, I forgot the lieutenant's name in the movie, and the dude basically said, it's a shit sandwich and we all gotta take a piece of it. We all gotta take a bite of it. And that's where we are as a Giants fan base. We ain't got control over the salary cap, over who we're drafting, who our free agents are. Like the freaking Kenny Galladays of this world, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you put all this money into somebody you don't even really know. You had freaking Brian Burns, you just traded like a second and whatever, plus paid him $30 million on top of that. What is that? That is Olivier Vernon all over again. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna tear down this team and build it from the ground up, why are you spending money on this edge rusher, knowing you just spent draft capital 2 years ago on Kayvon Thibodeau to be what he's supposed to be? You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you got Burns, you're paying $30, and you're gonna have to pay Kayvon too. You can't build you can't start over and build at the same time. It's like, what are you doing? Are you gonna start over and then build? But you can't win while trying to rebuild. It just doesn't make sense. You got to pick which one you're gonna do. You're gonna try to go with what you got, keep it moving then. But if you're gonna tear it down, you know you're gonna have to start with a quarterback. Malik Neighbors was an awesome pick. I mean, he's gonna probably set records. He'll probably be one of the Giant all-time greats. But you're limited with who's throwing it to him, right? Daniel Jones, you know, he'll get him the ball. I mean, you saw he got 18 targets. He caught 10. Could have been 11, maybe even 12, whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're Joe Shane, Brian Daboll, and you want to start off your regime, you should have been allowed to. You know what? Maybe we take a bridge quarterback. I mean, Baker Mayfield at this point looks like he would have been a hell of a steal back then. But it is what it is. Jacoby Brissett somebody for 1 year as you guys build on what you're trying to do. Then get your quarterback at no matter the cost. All right, you did it for Eli. You saw that it turned out. Do it for it. If it's Jane Daniels, that's who I kind of wanted. You saw Dayball kind of wanted him through Hard Knocks. Why not swing for the fences? You know, if it was Drake May, whoever it was, just put your pin in the ground. Like, come on, like this is who we want as our QB, and we're gonna build around this dude. We're gonna make sure the O-line is set. I mean, not having $40 million to Daniel Jones, not having $15 million or so to Saquon, you could have built that O-line drastically. Excuse me. So it's really, you have been handcuffed, not fully, maybe just one cuff. You know, the other one's open, the other one's tight. But at the end of the day, they didn't get a fair shake. So what we gonna do, Giants fans? Just like I said, full metal jacket style. It's a shit sandwich, and we all gotta take a bite. Big Blue Stuff signing off.